Nigeria has changed a lot in 60 years. But one thing remains constant. Our love of music.
We made them all. He made them all.
Kábíyèsí ọba tó dálé ayé o, ọba mi tó dálé ayé o, tó ṣẹ̀dá ọba mi tí ò ṣe.
Join us on this journey.
Welcome to Irin.
Hello, my name is Danny Kumapai, and I'm the executive director and founder of Akojopo. Akojopo was created through conversations with musicians in Nigeria, and just by learning about their experiences, I grew very attached to their stories because of my identity as a music educator and also a Nigerian. And in doing this work, I was very fearful if I had the skills to execute this idea. But when I took a step back, I realized I don't have to do this alone. There's a network of people willing to support this idea, which I'm so grateful for. Our vision as an org is to create accessible means for Nigerian musicians to pursue their artistic visions. This summer we had 3 goals: our guest sessions, our concert series, and also doing a test run of our shipping services to create more accessible means for people to have access to resources. And I'm so glad that we executed all 3, and we have hopes in 2022 to grow these initiatives. Our theme for this year's concert is Irin, meaning journey, in which you will be hearing works by Nigerian composers from the past, present, and future. I really hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to introduce our first piece titled 6 Yoruba Folk Songs, composed by Akinuba and performed by Sheyi and Sheku. We have Dr. Femi Oludare, who will be speaking more about this piece. Dr. Femi is a music lecturer at the University of Lagos, and he's currently on postdoctoral research at the University of Utrecht in the Netherlands.
6 Yoruba Songs. The music was composed by Akinuba, a distinguished scholar who was celebrated for his contribution to Africanist music scholarship and growth of African art. He introduced the concept of African pianism to theorize the ways in which composers could use the Western piano compositionally to reinterpret the structural and performance features of African music. He also coined and popularized the term creative ethnomusicology and was well known for his work in intercultural musicology. Huber composed for a variety of mediums from solo piano, solo voices with piano accompaniment, to opera. His compositions involve a synthesis of African traditional material, often from his own Yoruba ethnic group, and contemporary classical music. After Akinuba's first music education and performance sojourn abroad, he went back to Nigeria in 1957. During this pre-independence period, when Nigeria as a nation was gearing towards a new beginning, and various artists as well as academics were using the art of their various ethnicity as an awakening of nationalistic identity and unity, Huber wrote 2 works, 6 Yoruba songs for voice and piano, and 2 Yoruba folk songs for unaccompanied choir. These works, which were both completed in 1959, were engendered by the coalescence of his experience at this time, both abroad and at home. In the 6 songs, Huber makes use of Yoruba folk songs in their traditional melodies. The Yoruba text in its pure and as close to its dialectal and speech mode as possible, the retention of parallel contour between text and melodic lines, the use of modal scales and other elements. In his creativity of this art music, Huber aimed at retaining the original identities of the songs by ensuring that the diminutive structures of the folk songs are left intact, without any structural expansions. This he compensated for in the piano accompaniment, albeit not always sympathetic with the Yoruba musical identities of the songs. Please enjoy the music and continue to support Akojopo Music Foundation. Thank you.
Como le llama la bio, ni shago,
ọmọ yìí o ara yìí tọ́ ìwò yìí o ara yìí kẹ́hìndé yìí o ara yìí. Mẹ́ta mẹ́ta lọ̀rẹ́ òwe, mẹ́ta mẹ́ta lọ̀rẹ́ òwe, ọ̀kan ní wọ́n sùn lẹ́ni, ọ̀kan ní wọ́n sùn nílẹ̀, ọ̀kan ní wọ́n sùn láyà, mo bójú wèrè mo gbáyà rẹ̀ lọ. Mo ti lọ́mọ ogun, mo ti lọ́mọ sá, mo ti lọ́mọ gbọ́bàlẹ̀ odò. Ọ̀pẹ wẹ́wẹ́ ṣekú pàpákó, iṣẹ́ ǹgẹ́lẹ́ ṣekú pọkùnrin. Ọ̀tẹ̀ Ìbàdàn mógun ọjà ló ń dèrè ṣe kó yẹ̀yẹ́, yẹ̀yẹ́ ò lọ́rẹ́ òwe.
Our next piece is Trifecta Yoruba by Dr. Irin. and performed by Dr. Tunde Shoso on the piano, Jonathan Anuforo on the clarinet, and Awuzie Wisdom on the flute. Dr. Ayo graduated from the University of Southampton in the United Kingdom. He studied music composition and organ performance, and also holds a master's degree and PhD in composition and theory from the University of Pittsburgh, United States of America. Having studied pre-colonial art Yoruba musical forms, such as the Yoruba folk opera with Akojopo in the United States, he proceeded to Radiji, Osun State, to study and record Dudu music, a Yoruba instrumental genre. He applied the theoretical principle of instrumentation of Dudu music in his composition. Here is Dr. Shoso, who will be talking more about Dr. Ayo's work.
Hello there. My name is Babatunde Shoso. I'm an organist, a pianist, a choral conductor, and an orchestral director as well. And I am so privileged and I'm so honored to give this small review on my very, very good friend and brother and composer, celebrated composer in that fact, by the name Ayo Damope Uluronti. Now he composed a very epic work which I'm about to talk about, and it's called the African Yoruba Trifecta. An amazing piece. Duration is just about 6 minutes and 20 seconds with an optional ending. And the instrumentation of this piece has just 3 parts. It's written for the flute, the B-flat clarinet, and the piano. And they all have their different characters that they explore throughout the piece in a very, very Africanesque, fun way. Let me just read a bit about the synopsis, just to give you an idea. So it is based on a Yoruba folk song called Meta Meta Lore, speaking about 3 friends and their lives' contrasting features. The piece is built on the call and answer antiphonal structure of the source material. The piece is very adventuresque in nature, combining pentatonic melodies, chromatic materials, tonality, pitch, and localized harmonies. Generally speaking, the work attempts to capture the improvisatory nature of West African percussion music and collective sensibility of the performers of this source. The piano, based on African pianism, behaves like the drums. Can you imagine that? While the woodwinds now take on various percussive movements during the piece. The optional ending helps the listening audience to connect with more musical possibilities. It's amazing, isn't it? Now this work is just a work of art and put together by Akojopo. Please, I would like to encourage you to support Akojopo. It's a fantastic project putting this piece together, and I feel so honored and privileged to be the pianist on this particular piece. Played along with 2 of my friends as well. So please support the project. It's a very laudable one.
Up next is a duet for violin, number 2, arranged by Dr. Fredo and performed by Dele Olutade and Anu Adeyemo. Dr. Fredo, who is an upcoming feature in our guest section, has had his work featured in audio recordings, films, documentaries, and radio, including Robert De Niro's film, The Good Shepherd, to name one of many. His numerous awards include multiple ASCAP awards, the American Music Center Award, the Meet the Composer Award, and the Brannon Cooper Brothers Award. Here is Dr. Fredo, who's speaking more about his arrangements.
Hello, everyone. This is composer Fred Novelis, okay? Fredo, as everybody likes to call me, which is okay. You have a few questions which I need to address for your performance. So number one is what inspired the composition? Well, it's actually based. Number two, Barca, is based on a folk song among the Dende people. The Dende language basically it's a sub-dialect of the Fulanese or Fula, and spoken northern Benin Republic and southern Burkina Faso. So that's basically the inspiration from a folk song. So number two, what emotions? I feel the emotions I feel that's performed are from the text of the folk song, which is a hope for universal peace. If we can just share the good in each and every one of us, and there will be universal peace. Essentially, that's one of the messages in the text. Number three, what was the historical context of Nigeria? Well, none really, because it's not from this. Is from the larger West African sub-region. Some of you know, many people in Benin Republic, they also speak a version of Yoruba, which is a major language in Nigeria. So, thanks to colonialism, we've all been carved up, same groups of people are now found in different countries. But in traveling across West Africa, of course, the moment you leave Badagry in Lagos, cross into Benin Republic, they're basically the same people, divided by the demarcation of colonialism. So I hope you all have a wonderful concert, and I hope your audiences support you with wonderful donations, because programs like yours, they take enormous resources. So I hope your audiences support you generously. Purdue and out.
Our next piece is Omo Mi, composed by Gabriel Adedeji and performed by Sheyi and Daniel. Gabriel is a Nigerian composer and pianist. He started his musical journey through Yoruba tales that his late mother told. He currently lives in Nigeria, where he composes, performs, and teaches. He's also the resident pianist and artistic director of the Arts and Medicine Fellowship in Lagos, Nigeria. Here is him speaking more about his work.
The piece was inspired by the event that happened in Nigeria last year, 2020, the lockdown. So we had people going into homes and robbing people. And it inspired me to write 3 songs. The first was Teramoshe, Omo Mi, and Ibawi, which addresses this Ulum attitude and advice that people work harder rather than steal or rob people of what they worked for. The emotions I get when I listen to the music being played is the urge to work harder, to push myself to do more and to be a better person.
Omo mi, àmọ́ mi ò fẹ́ fàyà sílé. Owó mi, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Àjò ẹ lọ, mi ò fẹ́ jáde nílé. Ó sú mi o. Ọmọ mi sẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò fẹ́ fàyà sílé. Pálí mi, àmọ́ mi ò fẹ́ relé ìwé. Ebi pa mí, ta ló máa fún mi lóúnjẹ? Ó sú mi o, ó sú mi. Ọkàn lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ kò lè rí nǹkan kan gbà. Sórí dùbúlẹ̀ tó wà ló ti fẹ́ jayé. Ìbá ṣe pé ohun afẹ́ ó dàbí ẹṣin. Àtọrọjẹ ìbágùn kó tún fi ṣeré. Ọ̀rẹ́ wálé ohun gbogbo ló lé tutù. Yára rẹ̀ lọ́pọlọ kí o mèyí tí o fẹ́ ṣe. Ọmọ ẹ̀ àwẹ̀ tètè fàyà sílé. Pálí ẹ̀ tètè relé ìwé. Àjò ẹ lọ, tètè gbéra nílé. Ṣe gírí, ṣe kíákíá. Ó di dandan kí o ṣiṣẹ́, kí o tó lówó. Iṣẹ́ lògùn iṣẹ́ o. Ẹni tó mọ jẹun inú àpáta kò ní wẹnu àáké. Ẹnu kìnìún lówó wà. Ọmọ ẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ tètè fàyà sílé. Pálí ẹ̀ àwẹ̀rẹ̀ lé ìwé. Àjò ẹ lọ, pàdí gbéra nílé. Ṣe gírí, ṣe kíákíá ṣe gírí ayé kò dúró dẹ́nìkan.
Our next piece is Chiharya and Nakoa, composed by Grace Bernardo Foka and performed by Midori. Grace, also known as Grace Dion, is an African arts composer, vocal coach, and an art musician. She hails from Nigeria, studied music education at the Federal College of Education, Abeokuta, Ogun State, and also has a certificate in singing from ABRSM and vocals from Rock School of Music, London. She has written numerous works ranging from solo instrumentals, chamber works, orchestra, songwriting, and operas. Her famous commissioned work, Chiharya and Nakoa, has been premiered at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra by Midori Sampson and also performed at a doctoral and master's recital at Wisconsin. Additionally, she is the co-founder of Grace Dion Choral Society and Grace Dion Media Music and Vocal Institute. Here, Grace will be speaking more about Chiharya and Nakoa.
What inspired me to write the song Chiharya and Nakoa? Well, I was commissioned by Midori Sampson, my good friend in the United States of America, to compose a bassoon solo piece for the project she was working on at that time in 2018. She was working on the project for bassoon music from Africa, and so she selected a few composers from Africa. I think we were about 7 in number, and God be the glory, I was the only female composer who was involved in the project. And I was inspired to write about Chiharya and Nakoa because as at the time she called me, I was in a shock. I was in a state of shock. Like I lost my elder brother. His name is Innocent Bernard, and he was so close to me, and I practically witnessed how he died. So I was really, really sad at that period. And you know, when you lose someone, you have that consciousness that wow, life is so short that everybody should actually repent. If you're not living a good life, please repent. My brother lived a good life, even though he lived in a short while, but he lived a life that's left a lasting legacy. So at the period she commissioned me, I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't in the mood of talking to anybody. But when I got in touch with her, she gave me that project. I decided to write it based on how I felt. So I wrote Chiharya, and when I finished Chiharya, I decided, because it took me a while composing Chiharya, and I was getting close to the deadline, decided to add Nakoa. Nakoa means explanation. So it's like I'm trying to explain myself, but I lack the words to explain myself. So those were the two things that inspired me to write Chiharya and Nakoa. All right, so whenever I hear the piece Chiharya and Nakoa, most times I get I feel like I'm amazed, like I don't think I would have written this on my own. It can only be the grace of God. And then I still get inspired each time I listen to it. Like I get inspired to want to do more. I get inspired to want to compose more. Like the gifts sound ending. There is so much. As at the time the piece was written, like I said earlier, that was in 2018. I lost my brother in January, and I was commissioned, I think, February or so, I can't remember. But during that period, I was in shock. I wasn't talking to anybody. In short, I left my work, and thank God for the boss I had at that time where I was working. He quite understood and he let me be. For the period I was not working, I was with no one, I was secluded, I was just there thinking about life. And I guess it was in that period I don't know what was happening in the world. I don't know what was happening in the news. I don't know what was happening in Nigeria as at that time. But all I knew at that time was life is short. Like, I can't believe someone I know, someone I love so much, just gone like that. So I was in a state of shock. I was in a state of thinking, meditation, and that was the stage God blessed me with Chiharya. And not just Chiharya, I wrote in that period, I wrote Chiharya. And when I got back myself, when I resumed work after about 3 months of staying away from the world and everything and reflecting on life, I came back and then I wrote an opera on the story of Job with another composer, Victor Obona. So I practically don't know what was happening in the world in Nigeria, but all I know was the state I was in a time of reflection. And that was how Chiharya was born. It's a song telling us that life is short. So if you're not living right, have a rethink. Chiharya means rethink, repent, change your ways. And then Nakoa is explanation, in a state of explaining what you have to say. So those are beautiful songs, and I'm so glad to have been commissioned by Midori to write that song. And the way she plays the song makes me sometimes emotional, sometimes like, wow, I can't believe this was written at a time like this, and I'm inspired to create more. Thanks to Midori and her beautiful interpretation of Chihaya. And so far, Odin. So, thank you, Midori.
Our next piece is Ulum, composed by Joe and performed by Joe himself, Jude, Sonny, and Samuel. Oluwajuwon Johnson Adenoga was born into a non-too musical family in Lagos. He started his musical journey at Peter King's College of Music, studying jazz and classical music. In 2011, he was awarded a full scholarship by the MTN Foundation to study piano at Museum, where he obtained a diploma certificate in piano performance after studying for 2 years. He afterwards obtained a Bachelor's of Art in Music from the University of Ibadan, majoring in composition. Juwon, as he often loves to be called, experiments with most genres of music and its fusions. He, however, predominantly experiments with Yoruba styles of music, merging it with other cultures of music. Here, Juwon will be speaking more about his composition.
Hi, my name is Johnson Adenuga, but I'm fondly called Juwon from my middle name Oluwajuwon. Ulugbon is a folk tune known to most Yoruba people as Layo Ulugbon. And there is no way I'll talk about the composition of this music that I mention Jude Olabanji. Because we play this music together at different functions in an improvisatory way. So it was just like one day was like, can you write something on this music? And I felt reluctant at first, but because I know the word that is in it, so eventually I did write it. And some of the motifs that I used in the music was suggested by Jude, which I developed. So to talk about the setting of the folk tune as at the time it was composed, the form of government that was prevailing at the time was monarchy, and there is this man who, with oral traditions, the name comes in different guises, so I won't mention any name, who was to be the next Olugbon. So he worked tirelessly to make life easy for the people in his community and himself, and of course, it did meted out in surplus of food, shelter. I mean, people were living fine, all because we worked hard. So how did I apply this in my composition? I added lines, and some of the lines added by Taiwo Sonny, the chanter, and there are 2 lines in the music that I'll make reference to. Odu Niu in Yantatadumo. It is soothing to have money and to know influential people or people of affluence. And to get to that level, you have to work hard. So just to call whatever line of profession you've chosen to explore, work hard. So you make life easy for yourself like Olugbon did and for the people around you. And when you gather your resources, help people, spread the joy, uplift people. And I think that's just what Olugbon is all about. And lastly, please donate to Akojopo. Thank you.
àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè gbẹ́lẹ̀ yóò dùn àfọ̀lẹ́. Àfọ̀lẹ́ ló lè gbẹ́lẹ̀ yóò dùn àfọ̀lẹ́.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this concert. I greatly appreciate it. You could have been anywhere today, but you chose to be here, which is, I commend you for that. Big shout out to performers, composers, and those who helped us record. Without you, there would not be a concert today. Thank you to the team for, just sticking with it. I know you're all so busy, but I really appreciate the fact that you commit time to Akojopo and you believe in the vision. And just thank you for that. Shay, you're a beast. I know you're the only team member in Nigeria, and we're hoping to improve that. But man, you worked so hard throughout this whole concert series. I just want to say thank you. Suja, you edited this whole concert video in like one night, essentially. I don't know how, but thank you so much for your effort. I want to note too that we have a Google form in our YouTube description box that if you haven't filled out yet, we would love to have you fill out. We want to add you to our newsletter because we want you to be part of this journey. And we also want to encourage you to follow us on social media so you can just stay up to date on what's going on with us. In closing, as this concert comes to an end, in my mind, it kind of feels as though Chapter 1 of Akojopo is done. And for the rest of 2021, we're mostly just doing planning for our 2022 programming. And I'm really excited to see, what does Chapter 2 have in store. And the exciting thing is, you can all play a role in supporting us and following our journey. So again, check out that Google form and follow us on social media. But I'll see you all in 2022. Have a great day.